Good afternoon, everybody. 2 o'clock on the 2nd of April. And here we are, tile 300. 300? 400? 430. And what we're going to be doing today. So, what do I have? Pen, pencil, tortillon, the same stuff as we always do. Got my coloured pencils here as well, that kind of thing. But I've literally just had arrived this morning. Here we go. One of these Duo ink pads. I brought a couple of them just to try it, and I've done a really quick job. But yeah, you see that you've got that lovely green and yellow on there. I did do a quick job of sort of drying it off though, so I'm sure it'd have done a bit more. But yeah, I quite like them. Yeah, watch this space. We'll see where they lead. What I've got today then, okay, I am going to bring in my ruler because I want to use one of these circles here. You can do it freehand by all means. But I'm going to come in straight away with a pen and draw a bubble in. So what I want to do is, I'm not going to go in the middle. I want to go slightly off a little bit. So let's have a look which side. I'm going to go here because let's sort line around, because this is quite nice and I might not use all of this space here. So here we go. Let's put one in. I'm going to use this one, look, third one in. I'm going to put it in there. Okay, brave. All right, there we go. So that one's dead easy, isn't it? We always get that one sorted. Now, the idea today is to try and, if we can, take it off the tile a little bit, you know, because sometimes if we do it and it's not quite symmetrical, we can worry about it. And I don't want you to. So what we're going to do is sort of take it off piece a little bit. So let's have one there, look. Okay. So I'm going to turn it round so I've got that facing me, because I want to do another one coming this way. And of course, remember, I'm left-handed. So it's always going to go that way. You can do it this way if you want. It just once you've drawn your first curve, make sure that you keep it the same way. Okay? So with that being done and said, let's have a look. I'm going to do, I can get a couple in here. So let's sort of work this around. So I've got one there, see, coming off of there. I'm going to put one sort of coming off there as well. Okay, I'm going to make that a bit bigger. They don't have to be the same size. So here, I don't want to draw on my board, so I brought a bit of paper in. Because I'm still going to sort of draw that same line. But just to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to draw it off the paper. And the same here, look, I'm going to get two in there. Okay, so I've got that kind of a shape, but it just means it makes life a little bit easier for me. I'm also, I want to move it, see, or I might do, I'm going to put that in place. So if I need to, look, I can put it back in and I can see where it came from. Okay, so let's give this a little bit of shape now. So what I want to do is come from here, I want to come down bank. Imagine it's going back to here, you see, imagine. So it's going to go from there to there, you see, and if it went underneath, it would join. So let's do that with this one as well. So again, look, you see, margin and draw. So let's do this one. This is why we've kept this here, because what I want to do, there you go, line it up, look, is imagine where that's going to be. You see? And it's going to go there, isn't it? Because there, look, it sits up there. Let's try this one then. Now, if you want to do this, you know, freehand, you don't have to. I just think it's nice that you see where it's sort of coming from. Because we draw these things and sometimes I think we assume that we know, or I assume that you know what you're doing. It's not always the case, all right? Okay, so we've got that. Yeah, let's just move that out of the way. I'll come back to that if I need it, but for now, I've got the shape that I'm sort of looking for. Okay, let's go in a little bit then. So let's have a look now at the spaces in between. So let's go with this one because we've got quite a gap there, so that's fine. What I want to do is I want to come up and put a bobble on the end. Okay, so I'm not worried about measurements or anything there. They're not all going to be the same. It's about just going till you when you think that's enough, and that's done there. So, okay, next little bit then is we're going to come, I don't know, just a little bit further in, look. I'm going to create a loop like that, down to the bottom. And then let's do the same sort of thing. And again, look, you see they're getting a little bit smaller and they're all coming back to that line. Join that there, like that. And then on this side again, not right at the edge, sort of coming off a little bit and back in. And the same thing, coming in off of that shape there. Okay. So that's what we've got there. All right, I'm not going to do anything with that just now. I'm going to get the shape in first and we'll come back to those. So let's look at the next one here. So again, if I just put my paper underneath, just in case, I'm going to come up. Seeing it's sort of going to go off a little bit. That sort of feels right. But again, I can still come in here, look, and create that shape. And again, so following the same process, working your way in till you run out of space. And same on this side, and again, sort of not right at the edge, along and down. Now, you notice that I'm sort of drawing these all in one go. If you can do that, it'll give you a better curve. But you don't have to. If you need to stop and start, or if you need to do this in pencil first, it's fine. So if I take that away, you see now you've got part of it there, but you know that that's right, so that's fine. So I'm going to do the same with all of these sides now. So shapes here. I'm going to focus on one side first, and I'm going to put like an extra line in, see, like that. And I'm going to fill that with little lines. Like if we do this one at a time, we'll get there. There you are. Easy peasy. Do that on the other one as well. Okay. I know I said I was going to work on one side, but maybe I've changed my mind. Down we go. So I've got that. And then I'm going to put this line in, but I'm not going to put the lines in this time. So just this curve, like so. But not the lines that I did at the bottom. So you've got this extra kind of little shape there going on. You see? need to come in and do a little bit of work on these, I reckon, as well. So let's have a look at what we can do. Let's focus on the ones we can see first fully. So I'm going to sort of start at the same point, coming out bank, you know what I mean, like that. So I've got a bit wider there, and it's still to the point there. So let's do that on all of them. So this one is not too bad to do here because it looks like we're extending it anyway. So nothing to worry about with that one. And this next one. You see it gets a little bit wider as we're working our way out. Nice clean curves, if you can do it all in one, but don't press on your pen too much. Relax your pen. Okay. So I'm going to do is start at the top, which is not something I usually do. I usually start in the middle, but I want a full bubble at the top. And then I'm going to work my way down. Trying to, if I can, touching all the sides. So as I work my way down, I've not really got much of a gap. It's those little bits getting smaller and smaller. And then come back and fill in those little gaps that you've got. Or you can put little bubbles in there if you want. But it's nice to have a little bit of that blackness. This gives a little bit of drama to the piece there. And fill that bit in. Okay. So I'm going to do the same on all of them. Starting at the top. So then at least every one then has got that first bubble in place. However many arrive after that, I don't mind. Don't need to count them. We just want that consistency at the top there. So I suppose the question comes is, do we have to sort of do the same when we're working with our part pieces? Is it going to look realistic if we do that? So let's put those in. Oh, hey Leslie.
Hiya,
with a cup of tea, thank you.
All right, darlings, everybody all right?
They're all right. They're a bit quiet today. I think they're a little bit too busy trying to keep up with me. Now Mackenzie's watching as well. He's quite into his books, you know, is Mackenzie. He likes it. He's read a whole of John Scott's book.
I saw him reading John Scott.
Yeah, he was reading that on air. So let's have a look at this. I think what's nice with this, because we've cut it off, is I'm going to sort of cut off and pretend I've got a full shape there. And then come round. Okay, so it gives that impression that it's not ended, it's not finished. It's going to carry on further. Okay. So then, of course, back down and filling in all the gaps. Okay. So if they get real small, don't worry about it. Again, it's just about putting those in, you see? So I'm going to do the same on this one. But you see where I've gone there and I've gone quite thin. This one, I'm going to do it slightly rounder. Just gives it that little bit of a difference, so it seems more real if you do that. If you do them where they're all the same, it sort of, your eyes are like, really? So let's do that. Get all the way down to this bottom edge. So a bit of a sort of a cardstock I could see there. So, to those little bits. So just as before. Okay. Oh, sorry. And then let's do that. So this one then, I'm back to doing full shape at the top. Now a good point as well, if you're trying to draw your bubbles and they're not really working out so well, go around them a couple of times and that'll reinforce the sort of roundness of them. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. You know, don't rush them. Let them do their thing, but yeah, going around a couple of times makes a difference. And sort of wander there. So easy enough to do this bit is. Once you've got your shape, it is easy to work those. It's that idea in the first place. Okay, right, next one. So again, let's put that round. Let's have a look at how it's looking then. You see? It's got a bit of movement to it. It's quite a busy one, isn't it? So, again, different to the one we did on Friday. Let's following it round. Swirls down there, and then of course filling in those gaps. Again, it gives you a little bit of leeway if you need to change the shapes, so you can get a rounder sort of bubble if you need to, just by neatening it up around the edges there. All right, into those. There it is. Okay. So let's have a look at these. And again, it feels sort of natural, doesn't it, to sort of carry on working this way now and to put something in here or have some little lines coming up. But I don't want to be predictable, am I ever? So what I'm going to work on is this bit here. See this corner? This V. And I'm going to come in with 2 little lines. Like that. Let's do that on all of them. So again, you see where you've got that V point? Put 2 little lines. Now I'm going underneath there because I don't want it to be huge. So here that you're going to see part of it. So imagine, you know, they're triangles, aren't they? So you're working on this side part of the triangle there. And one more into that one. You see? It looks a bit funny now, doesn't it? Because we've got those in. A bit different. So I'm not going to... Oh, shall I? No, I'm not going to do anything with those. But what I am going to do now, I'm going to start with this actually horizontal towards me, because I want to come in with a loop in the middle. And then I'm going to do a loop. And then if I can get another one in. And follow it round, do the same on this side. Okay? So then turn it round, same again, from the middle. Now, it doesn't matter which way you go first, of course. But I think once you've decided, and you know, keep with that process. So I've done this and then I've gone to the right. So I'm going to follow that through. And that just means you're going to get something similar than swapping and changing it out all over the place. So when we get to this one here, I think now we can work out that it's sort of, this one's fine. And you're going to see a bit of that one. You know, it becomes a bit more natural seeing where those lines are. But because we've put them in the first place and we know they're in the right place, we know that when we do something like this, it's going to fit. And then this one. And of course, a couple there, one. So get a full one in there almost. And then this way. Okay, look at that. So I am going to bring in a slightly thicker pen now because I do want to fill those bits in with ink. So I'm going to use my 05 just because it'll be a little bit quicker doing it. And I don't want to sort of waste my 03 so much. I mean, a brush pen would be a lot quicker there in those bits, but in these, I think we're all more comfortable with a nib that's not so flexible. So, to that. Okay, see, it's giving a lot of dramatic effect there, hasn't it? All right, so let's bring a little bit of pencil on there and let's see what's happening. I think first I am going to use my regular pencil. I am going to bring a bit of colour in, but I'm going to do this bit first, I think. So where to start? Let's start with where we sort of did all these little lines. And I'm going to come up the centre on both sides. Okay, but I'm not doing where those lines are. And then across that top edge. And then let's just go in a bit, because what I'm going to do here, if it'll let me. There you go. It doesn't want to pick up, does it? I'm going to come in there. You see, I'm not touching that bit there. So, in here, up the centre. I'm just going to do a little bit on the edge. Okay, so you can't really follow that completely. It's sort of a bit of a hit and miss, a pretend. So that one though you can look in there. And then I'm going to go up the middle on both sides, inside there, and then all of these, they're going to have some across that top edge. And the same here, look, across that top edge. So, all around those, up there and down there, and then top edge. So whilst you're doing this, you've got to decide, are you going to add colour? And if so, where are you going to add the colour? What bit do you really want to stand out? And what bit do you want to sort of decide that it's not going to be so important? So these are sort of little flourishes in the background, aren't they? And again, I'm going to come in with these as a pencil, which again, you'd think, oh, the flowers are going to be one of the main points. No, I'm going to go in with pencil on those. And along that one. See how that sort of sits on the edge there? Same with this one, look. Around, fill those in. They've already got a bit of colour on anyway because I inked the tile, so it's not like there's nothing in there at all. There you go. To that one. And this one. So again, working my way around, just as before. Not trying to colour it in particularly. It's about adding some pencil. So Tortillon's going to do all the work with that. There we go. So here we go. Tortillon. And again, that's going to be quite sort of heavy up that top end. But try if you can. Bring both sides in, but leave a little bit in the middle where it doesn't have any. And then let's bring some of that in. Same on this side, so see, kind of gently working your way up bank and then in there. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do the flower as I'm going around. So you can do that, you can mix and match, or you can do one bit and then the other. Again, softening it off, the top coming in and the bottom. Again, leaving that little highlight there. So see, sometimes it's that's just work it through and then come in with a bit of less pressure, soften that edge off. Okay, there's a lot of graphite on there, so you might need a little bit of a careful sort of shading with that tortillon. You know, the more you press on, the more it's going to move. Control it if you can, to giving you that little bit of a highlight. Okay, back to flowers. And you don't have to have the highlight in the middle like this. You could merge it all so it's at the top where it's the lightest. But this gives it a real nice sort of shape. So, whatever you want to do. Again, not too much pressure. It can be quite tricky to remove it if you don't want. I mean, it's a rubber, it's a case of just rubbing a bit out, but it always leaves a little bit of residue. So it's better to go in easy first and then add some more if you need to afterwards. Okay. So that's sort of changed its shape a little bit, hasn't it? Giving it a little bit of something of interest. Again, into that bit. Let's add some in here. Again, see, working from top inwards and then bottom outwards kind of thing. So, just keeping it going all the way around. Try not to sort of put your hand in it as well and smudge it on the way around. If you can help it, you want to try not to touch it at all. Or put that piece of paper over the top, so as you're going around, it's going to sort of go on the paper and not move so much. I always end up with graphite all over me, so. All right, see, so we've got that going so far. So let's bring some coloured pencils in and have a look at what we can do with this. So being that I've got green here, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to come in with my sunny green. I'm going to use my grass green. And I've got a deep green. Bit of yellow, I think. Let's have a look. I've got quite a small yellow, look. And a bit of white. Might even bring in a bit of black, but we'll see how we go with that. Okay. So I'm going to start with my darkest, which is that dark green. And it doesn't matter which way round. Might go here, because I've got a bit of shade in there already. Let's add a little bit of green in there. And then I'm going to do the same on each of these little shapes. But normally we'd leave it where it is, but today I'm going to turn it as I go. You see? So there's little curves. Again, you can do this on the opposite side. Don't have to do it the same side as me. I'm not trying to shade it yet. Just want to add some pencil on there. Now, if you're going to do this with just a Tortillon and pencil, this is where you put your pencil, where I'm using it for darkest. A little bit in the bottom there of each one. Okay. So then if I come in with my next down, which is grass green, I'm going to add some again into this shape. See over the top? Moving the curve around a little bit. You see? And then a little bit in those shapes. Again, might as well do that while I'm going. Now, if they're really small, you're not going to get much in. But you see, as it's sort of, I'm helping it to sort of create that blend as I'm going now. Not too much pressure because they're quite small, so you don't need a lot. A little bit, see, following the shape round. A little bit there. So now I bet you're wishing that you'd drawn bigger bubbles or not so many. They can be quite small. You think, oh, they don't take long to do, but I think sometimes they take longer if you can't get any colour in there, or you've got to focus a little bit more onto how much you put in. See, this is pretty straightforward. Okay. So then, if I bring in sunny green, so see now it's sort of swirling it round, less and less each time, you see. And then here, it's almost, I'm just working now on these top ones because there's not much space in those smaller ones. There you are, see. Little bits in there. All right. Sort of wandering it round. See, so it's almost like I'm not colouring anymore. I'm just sort of applying that little bit of colour to it because we've already sort of established what's happening. So a little bit of yellow, just around that area there. And if we can, sort of across the tops, and I'm going to fill in those. So they're sort of covered now. Anything at the bottom there, you want to do, try not to go over the black if you can help it, because you will pick that up. You won't see it particularly, but you know, when you move it around, you'll think, oh, I went over that. Of course, you can't go back over it once you put wax pencils on, unless you use a Sharpie of some description. There you go. Okay, a bit in there, look. So, you know, it doesn't take long. I know there's a lot of bubbles in there, but it doesn't take long. Okay. So let's bring the white in. Now always remember, with your white, make sure that there's no other colour on the top there. See, I've got a bit of red in, I don't want that. So, only on those top ones, you know, you can't really get much on their little ones. Just going to give that a little bit of white on the edge. And into there. So it's almost burnishing it, really. It doesn't need much at all, if any. I mean, our main focus is going to be here in the middle. So maybe a little bit on the edge there, look. Just to finish that. Let's put some in there. So I'm going to really sort of run it around. Okay. So back in with that sunny green. Now it's not going to allow me really to completely cover that. So see, look. Because the white's in there, so that's going to blend into it. Then with the grass green, working its way around. See, sort of a mixture of swirling and working them together. And then my deep green, in place there. You see, sort of that bottom edge. Have a look at that. I'm going to come back in a little bit with the lighter greens to help that round. Alright. And back to white. Just sort of finish that whole thing off and burnish it round a bit. You see? Okay. Just going to bring in, let's have a look, deep blue. Just for a moment. What I want to do there is add a little bit to that bottom edge. Just there, look. And then each one of those, a little bit in as well. See, just not much, just needs a little bit. And then any of these larger bubbles, just a little bit on the edge. Just going to finish that off with a little bit of darkness. See, it doesn't need it on all, just on the top ones. And of course, I'm working it round as I go. So that one, couple there, look. And a few on that one. And that one's probably already done. Okay. Just going to use my lighter green, just my sunny green on the tops there, just to finish those little bits off, if there is any. Let's have a little look at that. Okay, one more thing then. Back to regular pencil. And I'm going to go around the edge, just lightly, not too much, around the whole shape. Even around that, so around absolutely everything. Okay, back in with that Tortillon and soften it up. Just to give it a little bit. I want to blend it off to nothing, so less pressure each time. Just needs a little bit of something there. You see, just sort of ease it off, ease it off. Right. Ease it off. There you go. Same with this bit. So you're only going to get part of it, you know, the rest that was hanging off the edge, so to speak. Doesn't matter. And just with my white pencil, you know where we did that original we left that line. Just going to add a little bit of white to it. Again, you could use your chalk pencil for this if you've not gone in with wax pencils to give it a little bit of an edge. There you go. And then of course down where you've got your little highlight here, you could come in and add a little bit in there just to give it the highlight. Oh, there, I need to do a bit of blending. There we go. So I'm not going to do any with the others. It was just those bits there. So that gives you something a little bit different that you can think, well, I'm never going to get it symmetrical. I'm never going to get it perfectly round. So do it like it's moving off the page rather than you trying to make it stay on there and be perfectly round. If you want to go perfectly round, we have stencils for that, so that's fine. But when you're doing it by hand, you don't necessarily want to do that. See, I'm going to go in a little bit darker on those areas. Let's see, just to ease it off. Look at that, yeah. And let's go in. See, this is where doing it a little bit lighter first, and then if you want a little bit more, it's easy to add. But taking away, a little bit difficult. You can do it, but just a little tricky at times. There we go. All right, so apart from a signature, it's all done. Don't even know where, I think, did I do originally there? So if I bring my regular pen back in, and let's put a little SR down there. On we go, number 430, all done and sorted. So with that all done, have a lovely day, everybody. Take care, and I'll catch you again, hopefully Friday. I just need to check the times, but I'll let you know if the time changes, and we'll do 431 then. So take care, everybody. Bye.